Hello and welcome. Today our problem is a window problem. So we've got a window that's stuck halfway. It won't go up and it won't go, oh there it goes down, but it won't go up. So up, down, up. So that could be one of several things. So let's get the panel off and have a look. First of all, we need to remove that cover from here, and then this screw which I've taken out. Now there's a sleeve which holds this in and it screws into the door. Now that's the screw that came out, and it doesn't really look long enough to reach into the door, so I think we'll have a look at that and maybe put a longer one in. So the next thing we need to do is release the door pocket at the bottom, so we'll do that. There's a screw here at the front. To remove the arm, there's two big screws. There's the top one. We'll finish the bottom one here. That's that one. And then there's another one here. So excuse my arm. So underneath there, there's another little screw which can miss. So we'll take that out of there. Come on. Right. That's that one. That's that one there. So it's easy to miss. Right, put that down there. So we'll take the door handle off. That. Next job, take the lock off. Right. So we'll get that off carefully. Now so the last screw that holds the door in, besides the catches all around it, is behind here. So if we move that out, so I've undone that screw and I'll pull it out. That, ease the panel off. That's the window support. That's how the window goes in there. So there's 10 milli bolts there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little 10 milli bolts and nuts. So we'll remove that, take that, draw that out the bottom, and then carefully keep it coming. And there's that's the assembly. So what we need to do is disconnect it here, which is what I'll do. Disconnect that, and then that's the assembly. So what happens is, and what's happened here, is there's a spiral cord goes right around here, and it wears out at this particular place here. So it slips. So that's what's happened. Here's our window mechanism. There's the motor. There's the cable. There's the mounting for the window. There's a mounting for the door. So the window slides up and down on there, driven by that motor with that cord. So there's a little cogwheel inside there, and that acts on this spiral. you can see it is like a spiral wire wrapped around a rope centre, so it's soft and flexible. So what happens is that wears out at the start when the motor fires up and the window needs to go up, and it wears away. So that's what's happened to that. So we'll have a replay. Well, you can take the cord off. You can disconnect the cord. You can disconnect the cord from here and from the motor. Take it out, turn it around so the unworn end here is now at the motor. Now, I have done that a couple of times, but it's not always been 100% successful. So I think in this case we'll get a new assembly from AE Car. Now they're not the same as this, they're much simpler. I think they're out of a Fiat Punto or something like that, so it fits in the frame and it's a much simpler assembly, although it's not original. It is much simpler and more reliable. So we'll get one of those. Here's our window bottom rail. It has swollen up, it's got rusty, it's swelling up. So I need to replace that. This is an aftermarket replacement. So that fits in the same place, does the same job, 2 10mm bolts, and the window sits in there. This is a plastic hose slit, so the window will go in there. It's quite a tight fit. But this channel, this aluminium channel that it's made of, is, you can see how wide it is. It's wider than the original Lancia one. So the same thing that happens to the Lancia rusty support, the same thing can happen with this. It's wider, and so it can catch on that inner rail, inner door rail, the same. So I'm going to persevere and see what I can do about getting an original one. local tool station had Rustin's rust converter. That's all that's available locally, so let's give that a try. I think it amounts to the same thing. So we won't use all of it, so we won't contaminate what's in the bottle. So we'll put some in there. That's quite good and thick. So here's our rail. Work that right into the rust. I'm afraid I don't have a bigger brush. Quite thick. It's a water-based product, and it says it converts the rust, inhibits and neutralizes rust, seals out moisture to prevent future rusting, causes serious eye irritation. That should be okay. It's what it's getting anyway. That's all we've got. So it is an anodized metal component, but it's 20 years old. Asking a bit much for it not to corrode. Anyway, that's done. Now this is marked. I did say inside. It is marked, so I know which side is which. Give it another splosh inside. And then what I'll do is put the hot air gun on it and get it good and warm so it can dry. And we'll get on and fit the new window motor. Seems to be fine, so we'll leave that and see what happens. Excellent. I won't put that in the bottle. If it's contaminated with the rust off there, it might turn that off. But that's pretty good, and that seems okay. It was $5.99, so not expensive. It's in a glass bottle. But that seems pretty good. So we'll see what happens with that. So I'll get the hot air gun. Oh no, it's just past that. I'll get the hot air gun and I'll get that good and warm and get it dried. Here's our rail with the rust curer on it. It's dry now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of masking tape on there, like that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to write on there, inside, and that's the front. Right. I've got some nice Vauxhall Smoke Grey. I'll give that a shake and we'll give that a lick of paint. Let me put a glove on. Right, glove on. I'll let that dry and I'll give that another coat in a couple of minutes. We'll let that dry. Right, glove on, a bit of light. Put plenty of paint on that. It says that it doesn't need primer. You can paint right over it, so I'll take it at its word. And put plenty of paint on, lash plenty of paint on. It's cellulose, so it's going to key into that, whatever that material is. Right. I've covered up my writing, but I'll remember that that's the inside. Well, that's not too bad. Well, when that's dry, I'll put it in a vise and I'll squeeze these ends in. Now, it's pretty corroded and it's not as strong as it was, but it doesn't really do much except let the window rests in it. And this area is strong, the centre area is strong with the window rests in. So we'll squeeze these ends up. So the main thing is that it avoids that catching on the inside of the door. So we'll squeeze those ends up. And I think we might have saved that. Anyway, we'll keep at it. I've cleaned the bottom of the window. So that's the rubber. And there's the rail. And I've marked the inside, so this is the inside. So that goes on there. Now, that's pretty slack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it in the vise. I put a rag in so it doesn't scratch it too much, and I'm going to squeeze it up. So that looks pretty straight. There's a bit of a bulge in the middle there. Let's have a look at that one. Okay, now we'll try that on the window. Now that's pretty good. I'll just give it one last little squeeze. Let me see if there's, yes, there's a bit of a lump there. Let's see if we can squeeze that in. It needs to be a good friction fit on the window, so that's what we'll do, because we don't want the window sticking in and this coming down and leaving the window stuck in. So in case of any malfunctions, it needs to be a pretty frictional fit on the window. Right, here's our window glass. There's the rubber that goes on it. There's a sort of a high side and a low side. That looks like there's paint on the outside, so we'll put that side on the outside. I've given that just a little touch of WD to help the frame, the support frame slip on. That's the frame. That's not too bad. I've remarked this because I painted over my masking tape. So inside, front. So this is the inside of the window. That's the front of the window. So that's the way it'll go on. So let's squeeze that. Let's squeeze that on. We've marked the window, so I know where it fits. And that is on. That's about it. It's on. It doesn't come off really. That's it. That's stuck on. That's pretty good. It's in the right place. There is a little bit of perforation at the end, but it's well protected inside now. So I think that's a good result. We've saved that. That's it. Done. So thank you for watching. That's the end of part 1. The next operation, we'll put the whole lot back with the new motor. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.